Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, Just Simply Sports. With me, I am Kaja. If you are new here, please hit that like and subscribe button. If you are not new, but you've been rocking out with me throughout the entirety of this NFL season, I so appreciate your support, you guys. It means a lot to me. Whew, you guys, if you've been here, you know how I feel about Russell Wilson. I always say, and I'm going to stand 10 toes on it, in Russ we trust. Okay? I am not going to back down off of it. I make no apologies for it. So it's not a surprise now that with the offseason, the Steelers have some very, very tough decisions to make because it did not end the way they would have liked it to. Now, the owner has come out and said that he would like to keep either Justin Fields or Russell Wilson. He hasn't made a choice yet, and it hasn't been announced if they have made their choice internally. So a lot of the conversation has been, who should they keep? Should it be Justin? Should it be Russell? It's Russell Wilson, obviously, for many, many reasons. I'm going to first play a clip, and then we'll get right back into it.
So I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this. Shady, who do you think the Steelers should bring back, Russ or Justin Fields?
Why'd you ask him this, bro? You know he is.
Seriously, we still ask this question after Russ took us to the playoffs?
The Steelers are still
It's
asking.
got to be Russ. The what?
The Steelers are still asking because they haven't committed to both either. Nor both.
Well, why would before I get my take, I just want to ask, what would make me want to have Justin Fields back? What did I get out of that? Some field goals and some good runs and some highlights and some bad passes? Seriously, I'm being serious. Like, why?
That voice up, man.
There's no team in the NFL, right? Like, seriously, we want him as a starter. For what? You get a rookie to do whatever he's doing. Be conservative, run the ball, and just let the quarterback make some plays, run with his legs, and play good defense and punt and get field goals? You know what? This is what the Steelers should do. They should stop worrying about the quarterback position so much because Russ is still solid.
Yeah.
Get some offensive linemen. They don't block nobody. Run or block or pass. Running backs. Go out there and get some electrifying running backs, right? With some explosion, respectfully. Wide receivers. I need one more person other than George Pickens.
Obviously, I'm going toward they need to keep Fields is the money.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, they need some help. Exactly what Shay said on the defense, specifically on the offensive line. They need help. If you sign Russ back, it's probably a 3-year, $100 to $120 million deal with 70 to 80 million guaranteed.
Oh.
So take that 80 million. Oh, yeah. Yes. Because there's other teams out there that will sign him. If you get Justin Fields back, you get him for 5 to 10 million a year, max 2-year deal. Maybe 7 million. So 2-year 14, or you want a 2-year 80. And you're pretty much getting the same results out of the two.
It's Russ for me, and it's very simple. When we all sitting down in here, hey, man, hey, fellas, who y'all want to keep, man? You know, this is what Russ does. This is what Fields does. Obviously, Fields a little better runner. All right, Russ, better passer. Russ done been to the Super Bowl, been to 2 of them, won one. What we want? Russ going to be a little bit more expensive. Fields going to be a little less. What we want, fellas? If you say Justin Fields,
You already know the answer.
if you say Justin Fields, you cool with just making the playoffs and getting out of there. If you want an opportunity to go and win a championship, then you bring back Russ. And the main reason why I say that, I'm not saying Russ with this roster. I'm saying you bring back Russ and you add pieces. Russell Wilson showed you last year he still has it. Russell Wilson went blow for blow with a lot of these quarterbacks in points that the defense was giving up a lot of points. He showed you he still could play. If you get another big-time receiver, like Shady said, if you get another running back, if you beef up that offensive line, if you help that offensive line, you have really good players on the defensive side of the ball to build around if you add a couple more pieces. The Steelers are not far away.
All right, so you guys just heard some different perspectives from former NFL players. I love the facility because, number one, they are all former NFL players. And, of course, they all have different perspectives, different outlooks. I always say I feel like when you can bring people together from different backgrounds, different walks of life, it always makes, in my opinion, a very compelling conversation and, dare I say, debate. Okay, because Shady was on one in terms of Justin Fields versus Russell Wilson. Now, I will say there were some points, some valid points, right? If you want to go cheaper, then obviously you would go for Justin Fields because he does not have the same resume that Russell has. Russell Wilson obviously has won the Super Bowl. He's been 2-2. His resume is his resume. You can't take that away from him. So you're not going to pay him $6 million, $8 million. He's worth more than that. And he's not going to go for that. He is quite the businessman, so he wouldn't even accept that. I think what you would do personally, I would say you keep Russ as number one. At this point, the Steelers have not won a playoff game in God knows how many seasons. I don't feel like they have the time that it's going to take to have Justin kind of come in his own. You know what I mean? He obviously has talent. I'm not saying that he doesn't. We know that he has, the legs. But when you get into these matchups with these more competitive quarterbacks, for example Joe Burrow, right? He's not much of a runner, but he has one hell of an arm. You can't outrun Joe Burrow. Like at some point you have to pick points up on the board, and I feel like although they were winning with Justin Fields, it was a very stagnant offense, if that makes sense. Like you didn't really get a chance to see what George Pickens could do until Russell Wilson came in, because Justin Fields wasn't really able to throw the ball the same way Russell would. You know what I mean? He was pretty much just running, to create opportunities, which is great in certain aspects. But I think until he develops, his pass game, he's always going to be limited, and it limits those around him. You know what I mean? As a wide receiver, I'm dependent on the quarterback. In order for me to do my job, I need you to get me the ball so that I can run into the end zone. If you can't get me the ball, then I'm limited in what I can do. So I feel like when they implemented Russ in that starting lineup as a starting QB, we got to see the offense open up and, what everyone was able to contribute to the offense. It's obvious that no matter who you go with, this offensive line needs a lot of work. They need another weapon besides George Pickens. He's very talented, but temperamental. When he doesn't have the ball, he has an attitude. Some days it seems like he's jogging, not really putting forth his best effort. So you need somebody else in order to compete against some of these greater teams who are not going to go anywhere. You know what I mean? Bills will be back. Ravens will be back. Bengals are going to be better. On Joe Burrow's worst year, like he was leading the pack, in terms of the stats, Jamar Chase, you have to be able to compete against those teams. You know what I mean? So you want to put yourself and your quarterback in the best position to do so. The Steelers and Mike Tomlin, he's in a hot seat. You know what I mean? I think obviously they respect him in Pittsburgh, but it's been so long since they've actually won a playoff game. I don't think that it can continue on like this for many, many more seasons before there's a change that has to be made. Either Mike Tomlin says, hey, I'm going to move on, or still say, we're going to have to move on from you. I don't feel like he has the time, to wait for Justin. I don't think that he does personally. I do say you have Russ, you bring him in, have a conversation with him. Look, we want to keep you. We're able to offer you this. Are you willing to take a pay cut so that we can bring some other weapons in, so that we can really dial up this offensive line, get our defense back, to where it's normally is, and let's really compete, and give ourselves the best chance of competing, and contending for the Super Bowl. I really feel like if you have Justin at the helm, although he is cheaper, and he may have a higher upside, we don't know, but we don't necessarily have the time right here in Pittsburgh to figure it out. If that's my personal opinion, you guys. Let me know how you feel in the comments, of course. I feel like where Justin Fields is right now, I think he needs to go somewhere where they are in a place of rebuilding, where he doesn't have to necessarily get it right now. You know what I mean? I think the perfect place for him would be the New Orleans Saints. They don't have a quarterback right now. It looks like they're going to hire Kellen Moore. And I feel like because Kellen Moore is obviously an offensive-minded coach, I think that pairing could be good. He's going to be a first-time, head coach, but a strong offensive mind. Obviously, having just, come off the Super Bowl run with the Eagles. Let's go Eagles. Hopefully they win. But I feel like he can maybe he can really bring Justin into his own. I don't really feel like Justin has been in situations that have allowed him to show his best. You know what I mean? I don't think he is incapable of being a starting QB. I think it's going to take the right system and the right coach to bring the best out of him. And like I always say, if you want to build a winning culture, it starts from the top all the way down. It's ownership, it's management, training staff, coaching. Coaching plays a huge part. I don't think sometimes people really realize how important having the right coach is. And I feel like because Kellen Moore's an offensive mind and Justin Fields, and he's also going to go to a franchise. I think they haven't announced it yet. I just think he's going to be hired because he's had one-on-one interview and it all seems to be pointing that way. He'll have the time because he's rebuilding. There's no rush. You know what I mean? If he takes the Saints, to better than what they had this season, that's a win. No one's going to expect the Saints to come in and do what the Commanders did in their first season, with Kellen Moore at the helm, leading the pack, right? So just doesn't have this pressure on him like he would, in my opinion, with the Steelers. The fans are tired of them not winning playoff games. People are tired of them losing. So Justin Fields comes in there and he's just getting field goals and he's just running with the ball. It's going to be like, okay, look, why do we get rid of Russ? He's not ready. Get somebody else in here. They have done too good to draft the QB. And I feel like even if you kept Justin or Russell, they're both obviously bridge quarterbacks. I feel like Russell Wilson more so because he's at the tail end of his career. He's older, obviously. He's not capable of what he once was, but he still has that arm. He still has his IQ. He still knows how to read defenses. Those things to me take time, and it comes with experience. You know what I mean? It's invaluable. You keep Russell there. Actually, he wants to take a pay cut, bring some other weapons in to really build up that offensive line, and then let Russ be the bridge quarterback while you have time to really bring somebody else in and let them watch and learn from Russ so that it's a smooth transition as opposed to having Russell do it, you know what I mean? And then he leaves and you're back at zero, like, okay, what are we going to do? That is my personal opinion, you guys. Again, there is no shade from me anyway in terms of Justin Fields. I just feel like because of where the Steelers are and their expectations, being that they haven't really met expectations over the course of years, and I mean years. I don't feel like this franchise has the time that Justin Fields needs to really develop, you know what I mean, in his passing game. I feel like New Orleans would be a great place for him because, like I said, the expectations will not be as high, and he won't necessarily have this pressure on him, to come in and excel right away. Expectations sometimes can be a great thing because people expect greatness from you. That means that they see greatness in you. And I feel like right now the jury is still out on Justin Fields and what he can and can't be, at least in my personal opinion, just from me watching him play. I don't know what his ceiling is. You know what I mean? If this is the floor for him, then obviously I'm going to go on a limb and say that he's capable of achieving a lot more. You know what I mean? But we have to wait and see. The jury is still out. What do you guys think about this situation? For me, it is always going to be in Russ, we trust. That's where I'm staying at with it, you guys. I look forward to reading your comments, and I will see you in the next video.